You know, in any sport, there are the great players, and then there are the ones who just completely change the game. Today, we're talking about a true artist, a man who played cricket with a kind of genius that literally redefined what was possible. Of course, I'm talking about the one and only Brian Charles Lara.
So let's just start with a number that honestly looks like a typo. 501. Not out. That is the highest score anyone has ever made in a single innings in top-tier cricket. It's a record that stood for decades, and frankly, it seems almost unbreakable. And then there's this number, 400. Also not out. This is the highest individual score in the entire history of international test cricket, the absolute pinnacle of the sport. And yep, you guessed it, the very same man holds both of these unbelievable records.
So the question is, how? How on earth did he do it? This isn't just about a guy who was good at stats. This is about pure genius, incredible ambition, and a real flair for the dramatic. How did one person so completely master his craft? To really understand the legend, we've got to go right back to the beginning. Back to Santa Cruz, Trinidad, where a future king of cricket was first learning the game. He eventually became known as the Prince of Port of Spain, and that title, it just perfectly captured his elegant style, his almost royal command of the pitch, and the absolute adoration of his people. But this prince wasn't born into royalty. He earned every bit of that crown with a bat in his hand. And his rise to the top was just meteoric. It starts at just 6 years old, getting coached on the fundamentals. By 14, he's piling up 745 runs in his school league. A year later, he's playing for the West Indies youth team. And by the time he's 20, he's the youngest captain his country has ever had. The trajectory was just undeniable. So you've got this young prodigy who is just crushing it at home. But how would that talent hold up on the world stage? Well, the answer came pretty quickly, and it was explosive. It's 1993. He's up against the powerhouse Australian team in Sydney, and Lara well and truly arrives. This wasn't just his first century in Test cricket. It was a massive, epic 277. It was a turning point in the series, and the exact moment the rest of the world knew a new master was here. Okay, so if 277 was the announcement, then 375 was the coronation. Just over a year later, playing against England, he didn't just get another big score. He shattered a 36-year-old world record for the highest individual score in Test history. He was, without a doubt, on top of the world. And the respect he commanded wasn't just from fans, it was from his greatest rivals. When Mutia Moralitharan, the guy who's taken more wickets than anyone in the history of cricket, calls you the most dangerous batsman he's ever faced, well, that's it. That's the ultimate seal of approval. But here's where the story gets even crazier. For Brian Lara, it wasn't enough to just set records. In one of the most incredible chapters of his career, he had to go back and reclaim them. Just look at this timeline. It's pure sporting drama. In 1994, Lara sets the bar at 375. For almost a decade, he is the king. Then, in 2003, the Australian batsman Matthew Hayden just inches past him with 380. The record's gone. But only 6 months later, Lara, facing the very same English team as his first record, snatches it right back with an unbelievable 400 not out. Let that sink in for a second. To have the skill and the sheer mental strength to climb the highest mountain in your sport once is amazing. But to get knocked off the top and then decide, you know what, I'm going to climb it again, but even higher, that's something else entirely. No one else has ever done that. So what about that other mind-bending number, the 501 we started with? Now, this one wasn't in an international match, but for his English county team, Warwickshire. And it is still the only quintuple hundred, a score of 500 or more in the entire history of first-class cricket. Just incredible. So how in the world does someone even score 500 in runs? Well, when you break it down, it's just as breathtaking. He faced 427 balls and hit 72 boundaries. That means over 300 of his runs came from just 4s and 6s alone. This wasn't some slow, patient crawl to a record. It was an absolute, relentless attack. But Lara's story isn't just a list of amazing numbers. His real legacy is woven from his artistry, his incredible ability to win matches almost by himself, and the deep respect he earned from literally everyone in the game. You can really see his impact in two ways. As an individual player, his genius was just off the charts. That 153 not out against Australia is still talked about as maybe the best innings ever played.
But he was also a leader. He captained the West Indies to victory in the 2004 Champions Trophy, which was a massive, massive deal for the team and the whole region.
And his significance really went global. I mean, when former US President Barack Obama visited Trinidad, he specifically asked to meet Lara. And what did he call him? The Michael Jordan of cricket. That comparison immediately tells any sports fan on the entire planet everything they need to know about his status. So we heard from the greatest spin bowler, and here's the verdict from maybe the greatest fast bowler of that era, Australia's own Glenn McGrath. The consensus is clear. It didn't matter what your specialty was or what country you came from, his opponents knew they were facing the best there ever was. So when it was all over, after all the records and all the awards, Lara stood in front of the crowd at his final international match. He didn't ask about his stats, he didn't ask about his records. He just asked one simple question. Did I entertain? And the roar he got back from the crowd? Well, that was the only answer he needed. For a whole generation of fans, nobody did it better.